And welcome to your weekly video analysis. I have been receiving great feedback regarding these videos, and also just want to make a little announcement. Going forward, we are going to be doing live streams for you guys where you'll be able to interact in real time with any requests, any coins you want me to cover, any questions you may have regarding the state of the market, etc. Again, that's going to be a feature that's going to be coming very soon. We haven't got a start date exactly, but I can promise you now that I have facilities, a lot more high level content will be coming your way. So anyway, I'm going to jump into this video. First of all, I want to cover BTC, as I believe we had some interesting price action develop upon the monthly close. Just want to go back to what's been developing pretty much since January. I mean, despite a lot of people getting quite bearish, we have had month after month continue growth in price, and this is the first month that we saw literally upon the close of the April candle. We've seen a price pull back, but where can it pull back to? I mean, that is the great question. First of all, zooming out to the month again, this gives us greater clarity in the market structure and what's actually going. I mean, there's only so much you can see on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. First of all, I can easily see this imbalance here that's developed here on the month. So again, this potentially can be a target where price dips into before we see that move up. Again, it also makes sense as this was a previous level of resistance. Again, price could easily feel this imbalance for value gap and then have that next impulse move up. So again, that's the first thing I want to notice. And we also do have this monthly level here. Again, I don't think this is a strong level just because we had this doji candle, but again, it is a monthly level regardless at 23,100. Again, going back to the daily, we can now see this zoomed in. Again, we can say this fair value gap, same balance on the monthly. Again, how price can come back down to this level. And we should assume that we have a lot of liquidity just below. What do I mean by liquidity? So if you assume that a lot of people that were buying within this region here, and now have their stop losses within this level. So it does make sense. We do get this dip to take this liquidity before we see some type of move up. We also had the theory, I mean, this is going back from the other week, that we get some type of move of what we saw here, and between January we had this sideways consolidation. We had that fake out, and then price took that liquidity below before showing that next rise up. So again, this could make completely sense that we have that fake out again, very similar to what we experienced back here. Again, you can see this was the actual level of resistance. We had that fake out, price comes, retest that level, can't break it, and we actually see price take that liquidity, fill that fair value gap on the monthly before we see a next move up. But again, we need to take things into context here. So going back to December, we are on an uptrend. There's no mistake in that. Price is on an uptrend, albeit if you zoom out to the weekly, it tells a very different story, where you can clearly see we're still in a downtrend, but we can clearly see that the August low that we've seen has been low highs has been negated, and we're actually starting to see a change in market structure on high time frames. But we can see, unless we take out this 47k, we should assume that we're still in a downtrend on the bigger time frame. But on the daily, the context is still bullish. Price is still making high highs and higher lows. So again, a dip to fill this region to take out all that liquidity below kind of makes sense, but we need to see that reaction. If we carry on just falling deeper and lower, again, this kind of validates the theory. If we do break below this 19k, this kind of invalidates this whole uptrend that has been forming over on the daily time frame, and then we should assume that we go back lower, back to this previous demand zone, consolidation zone. But until then, this is something to watch out for on the daily time frame. On the 4 hour, I did have this idea, which again, it does make also sense, just because we do have this bullish CVD divergence forming. For those that do not know, I'm also going to be doing a more in-depth video on this, as I now have access to the Exo Charts Pro, and I'll be able to actually do some drawing on here so you can exactly see what I mean. But in basic terms, CVD divergence is when the price is making a higher low. This is for bullish CVD divergence. So price is making a higher low, meaning that this low here is higher than the previous one, and the CVD line, meaning this is the difference between the buy and market sells, is making lower lows. So this is showing me, despite a lot of market sells opening within this region here, price is still maintaining higher lows, which you can also translate to a entity or a bigger trader or a well, absorbing all these lows coming in and keeping price propped up, meaning that we get some type of short squeeze happening. If we get push up, all the shorts that have been opening within this whole region get liquidated, and this creates that quick impulse or wick up before they get liquidated. And again, people can also be anticipating to have all the shorts already laid within this region. Again, that's what creates that spike, that wick, and then we see that drop down in price. So again, like I said in the analysis this morning, if we do lose this 27k low, this bullish CVD divergence will be negated, and it does exactly what it says. It's been negated, meaning we do no longer have any valid CVD divergence. So again, to me, it makes sense that we get some type of squeeze, liquidate all these shorts that have been opening within this region here, have a spike up, and what we did have within this region, we do have on the 4 hour, so we do have this order block here, and we also have this imbalance within this region. So again, to me, it makes sense that we do have this push up, liquidate, and then come back down. Again, if we do break above that 30k high and we start holding above, again, this negates that theory that we have this dip lower, and then we probably see a push higher to take out these lows at around about 31k. So again, that is the plan today. I'm also going to have a look at the liquidation levels. First of all, I'm going to look at the heat map. So again, this is showing me where a lot of people where traders have the stop losses. So we can see this region here at 28.5. So again, 28.5 will kind of probably have a wick up to fill this imbalance here. But we also want to seeing that selling coming into an area of premium for the shorts. And if we get a Fibonacci retracement, say if that's the high and that's the low, so again, you want to be seeing price at least coming to that 0.5 again, which is 28.854. If we go to the liquidation heat map, again, this will bring up price again to liquidate all these stop losses located within this region. And higher up, the most significant level is 29k, which again comes up to this level here, where we do have this bearish order block, where again we could even see a move come up all the way up to here, and by that point everyone's going to get super bullish again, and then we could just have that move down to finally take out those lows. So again, that's something to watch as we develop this Monday low. Again, I think it'd be important to see where this Monday low gets put in, and the Monday high, again, that will be important as we move into the Tuesday. And also, if we have a look at the liquidation levels, again, this just re-emphasizes what we saw on the heat map. Looking at the delta, a lot of people are betting now on the short side, which when we usually see this means we have a reversal up. Again, we do have these liquidation at 20 at, again, between 28.5 and 29k, we do have these liquidation bubbles here again. So it's more likely we see this push up before the end of the day, but I believe it will all depend on what we see happen with the stock market. When we see the market open at 1:30, that's when we expect volatility to pick up. But again, that is the plan for this week regarding BTC. And talking about BTC, I did mention this. If we have a look at the BTC dominance. So again, this is an indicator of the Bitcoin dominance over the rest of the market. So this level we've been looking at for quite a while now. If I zoom out so we can see this region here, around about just below 49%, has been a level where it has been contested many times. We see a push up, and then a back down to rotation, back to the lows, rotation back to the high, rotation back to the lows, and rotation back to the highs. And for the scenario that you want to see if you're holding altcoins and want to trade altcoins is see this level of support broken. So we're talking about this 46.9% level to be broken. Once we see that because we saw that huge jump in Bitcoin dominance happen in March, if we do see that drop, we can even see a quick drop here to 43%. At that point, I believe altcoins will have a nice little run. However, bad side, if we do break up, just because we saw that huge drop in dominance that happened in April 2021, if we do see the dominance break above this and expect a fast rise again, this would be very bad for altcoins. And at that point, like I said, I will be hesitant, to add any further positions or looking for new buying opportunities for altcoins at that point. What we want to see is dominance to come back here, break below that level support. I believe it's been tested pretty much 3 times now, and I think on the fourth attempt, when we come down, I believe we break it and we see that fast drop. And at that point, that's when we start looking to position ourselves into some altcoins, and that's when altcoins will actually pay. We've been getting a lot of questions. Is it time to get into altcoins? Like I've been saying all week, with dominance this high, it becomes a bit more difficult, to see the bullish case for altcoins. And in that case, that's when I want to look for, certain opportunities, to begin to position myself into some altcoins. So the next one I want to cover is RNDR. Again, we talked about this. Again, this followed a very similar pattern to ING. If I get this up and pull up ING, we can see pretty much identical pattern. We saw this massive drawdown happen, price. We had a consolidation, we had accumulation. Now we saw a breakout of this zone. But again, this morning I gave analysis. This is where I want to see price to actually come down to. I want price to come back down to this weekly. Round about between $1.61 and to $1.80, because this is where we saw actually price consolidate before we see that huge push up that actually broke a lot of these previous highs. So again, we can assume that there's a lot of demand within this zone, and we could see that one dip come here. And again, this is something that I'll be looking at. If we assume that we have a long position here, again, we can look to enter within this region. I'll be targeting at least these previous highs. Stop loss invalidation, again, very easy below this low here. Again, I'll accommodate a slight stop loss just to accommodate potential we wick through below this weekly. Again, we don't want to get stopped out. But again, what you want to do is on the smaller time frame, you want to see market structure begin to align with the overall market structure, meaning we can see on the daily we are clearly bullish, making high highs and higher lows. And despite price now is bearish on the 4 hour, the overall market structure is still bullish. So when we do come back down here, if we do come back down here, what you want to see is price find support, make a high, make a higher low, and maybe make another high. Maybe at that point we're starting to see changing market structure on the smaller time frames. Maybe we get another dip before we tackle that first high. But ultimately, for the short time trade, we're looking at a 59% trade, a 9.4 risk to reward ratio. And it wouldn't surprise me at that point, even if we do, come up and tackle these highs at $3.30. But again, patience is required for this one. I'm not in a rush. I'm not looking for shorts right now. I'm not looking for longs right now. I want the price to come back to, be patient, wait for price to come to my zone of interest, and then that's what I'll be looking to execute a potential long. But again, I'm just watching this area. I'm not presetting any buy orders. I want to see that reaction, because price can easily just come down to this level, slash straight through it. Again, if we have the buy orders already set, we're sitting underwater. We want to see price, come back down here, beginning to slow down and begin to consolidate within this previous range. But again, I do like this zone, as we do have a weekly level. Price consolidated here before we saw that huge impulse move to the upside. The second coin I want to look at is OP USDT. Again, this was actually posted in the group a little while back, and it's still following my plan actually. As price is starting to come down, and I'm looking for this, more specifically this area of demand here. So why is this interesting to me? Because we can see how price consolidated, and then we actually saw it break structure, because price was forming these lower highs and lower lows. And then we saw that quick impulse move. So when I see that impulse move out of an area, a quick fast move, this shows me an area of demand. But again, this is not to say that we're still in a bearish market structure. Again, I'm only looking for a quick scalp trade. Maybe from this, maybe we come back down here. But again, we're still looking at good risk to reward ratio. Again, my stop loss would be below this level of demand here. Again, targeting at least this previous area of support before saw the breakdown around about $2.50. We could even see price come up to this previous highs at $2.85. But again, I think a fib retracement will be a good idea if we come back down here. Again, targeting at least to $2.26 all the way up to $2.58. Again, I'm not looking for any swing. Again, if we do break this side, then I'll begin holding this trade for a bit more longer. But again, this is my area of demand that I'm looking for. Again, this looks like a high probability order block to me, just because we saw that huge impulse move that actually broke the structure. So again, waiting for price patiently coming down here, slowly but surely. It is looking it's going to come down here. So again, that's another setup that I'm currently looking at. So I'm going to end this video here. I don't want to keep it too long like the other previous videos. So again, the plan for BTC. Potentially looking for an impulse move up to liquidate all the shorts that have been opening, followed by another move down to fill this area of imbalance. BTC dominance, we're waiting for that break of support to begin going into altcoins. RNDR is what we're looking at, and OP at the moment for potential trade setups. If I see any more, we'll post them within the trade setup channel. And yes, and let me know in the trading chat what you think of these videos, if you're getting any value from them. Just always give us feedback when you can. Again, our aim is to keep improving the channel, and we can only do that with the feedback that we receive back from you guys. So I'll see you on the next video. Over and out.